about to hear me tonight. You guys came to hear such an amazing woman that we have that's going to be our special guest for tonight. And I just want to read a little bit about her. You guys have seen me post. You guys have seen or heard me talk about her. Her name is Arian Simone. I call her my little black Barbie. She's just gorgeous. But not only is she beautiful on the outside, one thing that I've realized with Arian is she is the sweetest, just good-hearted person probably that I've met. But she's a boss on top of that, which I love. I absolutely love the fact that she goes after what she wants. She gets what she wants. She's a hard worker. She's a businesswoman. And most importantly, she loves God with all her heart. And I see it through her. You can hear about it in her story. And she's going to tell you more about her journey as well. So I'm going to read just a little bit about the author that we have here tonight. Her name is Arian Simone. She's fun, fly, fabulous, and fearless celebrity publicist, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and now an author. She shares her homeless to Hollywood story with transparency, humor, and vulnerability all around the world, building a successful PR and marketing firm. Arian Simone Enterprises from the ground up. She has established great relationships in the entertainment industry. She is certified with doing publicity and promotions on major motion picture films and many recording artists. I can't talk, sorry. She serves as founder of the nonprofit organization Live Your Dreams Foundation, empowering today's youth to live a fulfilled life. That is just a quick little snippet of who we have here tonight. And I want you guys to just open your hearts, open your ears, open your minds. And I know that she's got a beautiful story that you guys are going to want to hear. And if you didn't realize, our theme for today was "And the Story Goes." Let this moment be page 1 of 365. Let today be your starting point. It's not too late, right? We love to celebrate New Year's. We have a lot of New Year's resolutions, but let me tell you, the only time that they're going to ever come true is if you do the work, right? You have to do the work. Arian has done the work to get to where she's at today, and I figured this would be such a great collaboration as we begin to write our stories for 2016, that she can come in and share her story. So I won't take up any more time. Will you guys do me the favor and please stand up and give her a real Oasis welcome, Miss Arian Simone.
That was so sweet of you. She said, yes, I love your energy. Good evening, ladies. Oh, I love this energy. This is perfect energy for a kickoff. She said, and the story goes. So today I'm going to share with you guys my fabulous and fearless journey. And you see that Christina has the book. And first and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming out in the rain. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. And I'm so grateful to the pastor of this church, Pastor Anthony Murray. Give him a hand. Yes. And your beautiful First Lady, Christina Murray. And I just thank them so much for letting me come up here and just minister and just share my testimony with you guys. Because this is one of those moments where it's like, and the story goes. This is definitely one of those moments. But I want you guys to know this. God can take your detour and always get you to your destination. Say it after me. God can take your detour and always get you to your destination. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys as an intimate group as if I'm like in my living room and you guys are in my home, because this is definitely a story. And I like to start the journey off in 2004. I had just graduated from Florida A&M University. Rattlers in the house, okay. And I moved to Los Angeles, California with a job. I was working for Apple Bottoms. Y'all remember that Apple Bottoms jean? I'm about to say, y'all ain't that saved, are y'all? Yes, Apple Bottoms, okay? It was Nellie's company. And I get there, and they have me working in the area called product placement. And I'm like, y'all, I really didn't know what product placement was, but like she says, I kind of get things done. I said, okay, what do you guys need? They're like, we need you to place the product on celebrities and do this, do that. I'm like, cool, I got this. In 30 days, I placed the product on Jessica Simpson. I placed it on Tyra Banks. Y'all, I placed the product on Oprah Winfrey. I thought I had arrived. I then get called to the office and they're like, oh, we need to meet with you. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting a raise. I'm getting a raise. They need to meet with me. They're like, the president would like to see you. I'm like, of course. I go in there and I'm all excited, you guys. And they're like, we need to let you go. At first I was just like froze. I'm like, okay, they are speaking English. They did tell me they need to let me. I said, I'm confused. I need you all to elaborate because last I checked, I was the first person in your office. I am the last to leave, and I have taken this company to a whole nother level. Please elaborate. They said, Arian, the company is being sold. I said, okay. Well, the new people, they would want me, right? I'm like, did y'all tell them about me? They're like, everybody has to go. You just happen to be the last hired, so you're the first. Exactly. You guys, I was 23 years old, and you know what I just said? I was like, I'll figure it out. I was still a little confused. I was like, these people really letting me go. So I walk on out there. There's no severance package. There's no anything. It's like, get up, go, leave. I get to my apartment, and I was like, Erin, you're from Detroit, Michigan. We have very strong work ethic. You will figure this out. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Well, you guys, in the next couple of weeks, I started to run out of money. Because mind you, I went from college, and this was my first job out of college. I didn't have much cash. And I said, oh gosh, I don't have no more money left. How am I going to stay here? Then I get a notice on my apartment door, and it says, pay rent or quit. I said, well, I guess I got to quit because I don't have nothing to give them. I said, so what does quit mean? So I called my mother. She was in this unfortunate, horrible divorce case with my father. And she said, Erin, all of our assets are frozen. I can't help you right now. I said, what you mean you can't help me? It's just like, I'm borrowing money. I said, what you mean you borrowing money? I grew up middle class, so I was like, what are you talking about right now? I was like, you don't have nothing. She said, well, my girlfriend Christine could probably put your stuff in storage. She said, that's the most we can give. I was like, oh gosh. I said, well, give me what you can. Y'all, I moved from my apartment to my car. I was like, but I was still at this moment, I was still somewhat strong. I was 23. I think I was still in shock, kind of like numb to what was going on. And I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I can do this. And my girlfriend, Rochelle, reached out. It was about a few weeks later after my layoff. She said, well, I have a place. I heard you living in the car. She said, we can't stay here long. I said, well, why not? She said, they let me go too. I said, oh, shoot. She said, so when my money run out, we all got to leave. I said, okay. Y'all, her living room was probably about this big. It was probably less than the size of the stage of the apartment, much less. And there's 2 bedrooms in there, and it's her and her boyfriend in one room. It's a guy cutting hair in another room. And yeah, exactly. I was like, what y'all got going on up in here? But at this point, I've been sleeping in the car. I'm just grateful to have a place to stay. I'm like, you give me this sliver of floor, I got it. Next thing you know, y'all, I applied for job after job after job. I applied for 153 jobs. And I remember the number because that's when I stopped counting. I was like, 153? I have a bachelor's, a master's. I said, how is this happening to me? Then I was just like, okay. Next thing you know, you guys, I ended up on welfare, food stamps, general relief. And this is when I just learned how to dance in the rain. I said, despite my circumstance and despite what I'm going through, I'm going to have fun. I was like, I just got to figure it out. I'm going to have fun. I said, this cannot steal my joy. This cannot steal anything. I just have to enjoy life. And I love to cook. So the food stamps, I'm cooking for the whole apartment, knocking on the doors. I'm like, hey, y'all, I got a full plate, $10. Like, however we got to work it out, I'm having a good time. I'm like, I got to make the best of this. So I said, I'm going to go sneak into the BET Awards. I know y'all looking like, what? I said, I'm having fun. My girlfriend Tay comes in town, and I said, we're going to the BET Awards. She said, oh, who gave you tickets? I said, nobody. Nobody gave me tickets. I said, we're going to have fun. And she's like, I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like, she's somewhat scared with this plan. I said, stick with me, and we're going to get in there. So we get all dressed up, y'all. We get down there, and she keeps going from door to door. She's knocking on doors. She's talking to people. She's about to get us in trouble. I was like, she's like, nobody will let us in. I said, you better quit asking. We ain't got no tickets. I already told you. She said, well, how are we going to do it? I said, we're going to walk the red carpet like the celebrities. She was like, oh, you crazy. I was like, watch me. Somehow, just me putting that out in the atmosphere, somebody was down at the carpet, you guys. And he said, hey, Arian. I said, girl, that's our cue. Come on. I didn't know who it was. But I said, that's our cue. I get down there, and he starts talking to me, and he keeps talking to me. And I'm not sure if you guys ever heard a guy by the name of Rico Love. Okay, well, back then, she said, yes. He was Richard Butler, still at this time. He went to FAMU, too. We went to the same school. At that moment, I didn't remember who he was. He's telling me about he had a crush on me, everything. I'm just listening. But I'm going on with it, whatever he's saying. And then after a while, I was like, okay, I do know who you are. I was like, you're friends with Edward Long Jr. I was like, okay, this is ringing a bell. So he said, well, I just signed to Usher's label. You all can walk in with us. He does not know that we don't have tickets. He's thinking we just going to the award show too. I said, of course. So Usher gets to the carpet, you guys, and he grabs my hand. And luckily, we didn't stop for interviews or pictures or anything. We just took off with this fast walk down the carpet, and they're like, who is the girl in the white dress? I was like, it's me, it's me, it's me. I was scared to say my name because I didn't want him to turn around and be like, well, who are you? What you mean? So next thing you know, we get in there. Do you guys remember the show in Monique that the is that show? We get in there. Monique is doing the Beyonce impersonation. The Isley brothers are having a tribute. We are having a blast. We had seats in the 5th row. I don't know whose seats they are to this day or who was supposed to be sitting there, but I saw 2 empty seats in the 5th row because when we got in there, they said, where are your seats? I said, they're right there. And we sat there, y'all, the whole entire show. Had a blast. She said, yes, I love your energy. Yes, and also that weekend, I said, we're going to keep dancing in the rain. So then there was some artist by the name of Chingy out of St. Louis. He had some type of nomination from the awards, and Jamie Foxx was going to was hosting his party, his award show party. So we get to the party, and I'm in there, and they have this big booty contest going on stage. Christina, forgive me. They have this big booty contest going on stage, and y'all, the prize is $1,000. And I see what's going on, and now mind y'all, I'm broke. I don't even know if we were about to run out of food stamps or what, but I'm like, $1,000 sound real good right now. And I was just like, oh God. I said, Tay, I can't do this. And she said, well, I said, I can't do it. And then I just stood there in the crowd, and the crowd was so congested. And I guess being in Los Angeles, Jamie did not care for the talent that was on the stage. He said, I'm sorry, ladies, but this ain't it. And then he said, her right there. He pointed right at me. I said, oh my gosh. They had security literally lift me up and place me on the stage. And I was like, oh, she said, that's how God do. I said, you guys are truly the non-traditional church. Talking about that's how God do. He'll put you in position. So I get to the stage, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I said, Jamie, I said, honestly, I can't do what those other girls are doing. And he was just like, oh no, you can just stand there. We just gonna clap. They just all just started clapping. See, I don't have on anything tight right now, but they all just start clapping. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm about to get this money. This is happening. Then you guys, out of nowhere, a girl who I would want to say wears a size 0 comes on stage, and she does all types of splits and twerks and bounces and everything, and the crowd went ballistic. And I said, this done stole my money. I said, she done stole my money. I said, this is not happening. He said, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you no further. What you gonna do? I was like, no. But you guys, I couldn't. I knew the woman my mother had raised. I knew the values she had instilled in me. And I was just like, I can't do it. I was like, I'm going to just have to go back to being broke and just deal with this. And just deal with this. And you guys, this realm of fun went on for probably about, I would say, about a month or so. About a month or so. And then things honestly got really, really dark. Because at this point, I'm just like, probably about 4 months in to being laid off, struggling trying to find a job, selling my clothes, y'all, just so I could eat or put gas in the car. I even went to an area called the Jungle. Are y'all familiar with the Jungle? No, y'all not in. Oh, she said yes. Okay, if for anybody who's seen Training Day, it's a rough ghetto. She said yes, in Los Angeles, where they clap, the Warner Pigeons when the police are coming in. Rough ghetto. I'm out on the streets selling clothes, whatever I just have to do to keep it moving. I was just like, Lord, this cannot be my life right now. So then my mother called, and I was literally, you guys, at a green light, but I wasn't moving. I wasn't moving. I can't remember if I had parked the car or if my foot was just on the brake. But I wasn't moving. Because in that moment, I literally didn't care. I said, if somebody hit me, what the heck's going to happen? I was like, I need a solution to this problem. I need a serious solution. My mom calls, and I said, Mom, if this is what life is like, I said, I don't see the need to live. I said, I did everything y'all told me to do. I said, I've been a great child. I said, I went to school. I said, I've been an honor roll student all my life. I said, what did I do wrong? I was like, why did I deserve this? I said, to be out here struggling, I was like, Mom, I haven't ate in the last 7 days. I said, I've had bread and water. I was like, this is not it. I said, if this is what life is like, I don't see the need to live. And she just starts crying. She just starts freaking out. And she's like, you can't do this to me. You're all the way across the country. She's scared at this moment. I'm about to pull the trigger. I'm too chicken to shoot myself. I'm going to be honest with you. I am. I said, Mom, I am upset right now. I said, I'm depressed. I said, I don't think I'm suicidal. I said, I don't think so. I said, I'm not. I said, but what I can say is, I said, I'm exhausted. I said, I'm exhausted. I don't know what to do. Because at that age, your friends don't have money. I actually graduated before a lot of them, so they're all broke, just broke college students. But I said, all your money, Mom, is just tied up. I was like, this is horrible. My aunt keeps sending $50, and I keep trying to tell her that. I said, I'm not ungrateful. I said, but $50, I sure doesn't fill up my gas tank out here. It's just not doing anything. Because she was like, I just sent you $50. I said, I know, last month. I'm like, it does not do anything. But older women, she's trying to think to her day, like $50 can really stretch out. I'm like, it's not stretching out in LA past a day, not in Los Angeles. So you guys, I just started praying. I attended West Angeles Church of God in Christ, Bishop Blake's church, and all I could do was just seek God, because I was like, this is not working. I got exhausted with calling people, because after a while, you keep calling, you don't get no cash. You just get tired. You get tired. You get worn out. And I just got on my knees, and I was like, God, you have to do something. Because at this point, I want to say when I had this big breakdown, y'all are getting a condensed version because they gave me 20 minutes to speak, and I usually take 45 minutes to tell this story. And I think the car had broke down, I want to say, around this time. The car broke down. I'm checking into a shelter. They telling me I got to go get a homeless card from downtown, and I couldn't do that because I said, this can't be my identification. I was like, I can't look at that label with my name on it that says I'm homeless. I'm like, I know I'm homeless. I was like, but this is temporary. And something about that card felt real permanent. And I was like, nah. I said, I can't even let them print that up. I was like, you're just going to have to sit here, Arian. I said, you're going to have to pray. And thank you, Jesus. Probably about 7 days later, somebody called me from that one job I had, y'all, for 30 days. So just know that your hard work never goes, unseen. It never goes unseen. All of the seeds you sow, you just never know when the harvest may be, but it will definitely come. And he said, Arian, my wife needs some help with some PR work. Y'all, I didn't know what PR was. I just said, yes. Had he said, my wife needs you to come clean her toilet, I would have. She needs you to sweep up her vomit, I would have. I was looking for a job. I could have cared less about my degrees. They went out the window 3 months ago. I was applying for any position I could think of. I was like, I just want to work and I just want to eat. Like, that was my whole goal. I just want to work, I want to eat. So I get over there and I said, and I was transparent and honest with them. I said, you tell me what it is you need me to do. I said, I'll do it. I just need you to spell this out. They're like, oh, we need you to get her furniture stuff in different magazines and on TV shows or whatever like that. I said, cool. I'm the type of person that I'll just, as long as you ain't 6 feet under, I'll find you. Just can't be under the ground. I'm not digging nobody up. But I will get it done. So I was like, okay. I just started calling people. I'm going through phone books, just making things happen. Well, they saw my hard work in a very short duration because in the next few days, they had referred me to somebody else who referred me to somebody else. And in 2 weeks, I looked up, I had 5 to 7 projects going on. Yes. I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I was like, this is happening. I was like, this is happening. And that's when I realized I had a company because I called the media and they were like, where are you calling from? I was like, oh, ARPR marketing, because I didn't know what to say to them. I'm like, where am I calling from? From me. That's where I'm calling from. And that's when it hit me, the light bulb went out. Arian, you have a company. I was like, okay, you're going to have a place to entertain these people. So I went and got office space. And you guys, I lived out the office space because apartments still, don't get me wrong, in LA are still pricey. Even because when I finally ended up getting an apartment, all I got was a studio. Like, they're still pricey. Just to move somewhere in LA, you're going to need like $5,000. This story is not uncommon to the LA people. When I go back now and I speak to them at the shelters, movie execs are in there at the shelters. I mean, all types of people. Because of most of America living paycheck to paycheck, one incident in Los Angeles can really put you on the street. Because the startup cost just to start there is just so high. So I said, well, I ain't trying to get into an apartment just yet. I was like, the car, I can get out the car, but I need to get to an office space. I was like, I need to get out to an office space. So I got in this office space, you guys, and I was on the 26th floor of 5900 Wilshire. And the 19th floor had the Steve Harvey morning show. Yes, position. Whoever said that before, he'll put you in position. I was in position again. This time I could act on it, though. So the security in the building, they knew I was living in there. And they were cool with it. They knew I'd go down and shower LA Fitness on the bottom floor in the morning. They would help me out. They would pass my business card out to every celebrity coming into the morning show. And then they would call me to let me know who was in the building. They'd be like, Arian, you got to wake up. You got to wake up. Kanye West is on 19. Get down there. Or Nick Cannon's on 19. This is how I knew the hustle was kind of working. So I get down there to the show. And Nick is like, oh my gosh, I heard about you. You're awesome. I'm thinking like, I've been doing this 3 weeks. He heard about me. I said, well, how'd you hear about me? Oh, security just bragged on you. I said, oh, yes. I said, yes. Everything they said. I was like, oh, my boys got it. I'm bringing them lunch, everything. Like, we got to keep this going. And I had a very large breakthrough. I was in the office one day and I fell asleep early. You guys, I would stay up about 23 hours. My work ethic is crazy. I was trying to get myself out of this situation. So however long I had to stay up to keep working, I just did. I guess I crashed one day around 7 o'clock and my legs were hanging out even in the doorway because the way the office floor, they still tell it to this day. Some of the same people are still up there. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, you remember when Arian was laid out and passed out and her legs was hanging out the door? Well, Coach Carter from the movie Coach Carter, y'all remember that movie? It was like 2004. The real coach found me asleep on the office floor that day. And he was like, ma'am, and I was so embarrassed, y'all. I had on sweatpants that had holes in it and a t-shirt. I had sold most of my clothes. I was down to a few pairs of shoes and a couple tops and bottoms. And he was just like, ma'am? I was like, yes. He said, you're living in here. I said, I've made it. I said, you don't know, trust me, this is it. I've made it. And he was like, you have not made anything. I said, no, no, no. I said, I've been through worse. I was like, trust me, I'm fine. Please leave me alone. I was like, maybe I need to just get some rest. I was like, just leave me alone. He said, well, I want to help you. I said, you want to help me? I said, well, how are you going to help me? And he said, I'm going to get Paramount Studios to cut you a check. Those are the first words out of his mouth. I said, okay, now what is going on here? I said, Paramount Studios is going to cut me a check? I said, now how does that work? He said, no, they outsource people for different skill sets. I have a movie coming out. I said, well, I don't work in their building. I said, the last building I worked in, Mr. Carter, they put me out. I don't want to go work in any building. I said, I'm doing fine, doing my own thing. I feel much better here. He said, you don't have to give this up. You don't have to go work in their building. They outsource you. He said, you can help out with the movie and they'll cut you a check. I said, well, this sounds good to me. You guys, he took me over to Paramount Studios. He introduced me to the presidents, the vice presidents, the executive vice presidents, the producers. We go on the Dr. Phil show. I'm imitating Dr. Phil on the show. We're having a blast. They were like, give her a show. I said, yes. Yeah, we were having so much fun. He wasn't the thing. He was kind of like the thing that led to the thing. So from there, I understood that, oh, movie studios outsource people to do PR and marketing work. I said, all I got to do is call some other studios. So I called some people who went to my school, FAMU, Will Packer and Rob Hardy, and they're out of Atlanta. And I said, you know, Will, I told him, no, sir, I said, I've been on rough times. I said, actually, I think I was probably still living in the office at the time. I said, hey, can I work on one of your projects? I said, I just found out that the movie studios outsource people for PR and marketing work. And they said, that is true. They said, we haven't made it yet. And I remembered them, you guys. I had a clothing store in college, and they would put up their posters in my store. So I remembered them. And they said, we haven't made it yet, but we're getting ready for our first big film. And I said, well, what's it called? It was Stomp the Yard. I was like, okay. This was probably 2 years before the movie was coming out, though. So I go on over to Sony Pictures, and I sit down for an interview. And the lady looks at me, and she said, well, basically, she was kind of, I won't say mean, but she was kind of like, who are you? And she said, well, there's 2 other people that want this same position, and they have a lot more experience than you. I said, well, I have a mentor. And she said, who? I said, Roz Stevenson. She said, the job is yours. I didn't know what was going on in that moment. Y'all, Roz Stevenson was somebody I met from somebody through the radio station. I didn't know this woman that well. I'm telling you, all I knew is that I remember she had something to do with some movies. I did not know any details. Y'all cracking up. But you see, I come bold and confident. You know the Bible says your confidence shall be richly rewarded. I said, I'm coming confident. And then I said, oh my gosh. So I called her afterwards because I had to let her know because I was like, oh gosh, these people may call her. I don't know what I just did. I said, I'm Roz. I know I've only met you once. I said, but I dropped your name in an interview. And she laughed. She said, you got the job, didn't you? And I said, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out why did it hold so much weight? She said, Arian, I was the first African-American executive at Universal Pictures. She said, my name does hold weight in this town. I said, oh. She said, but I don't want you to go in unprepared on my name. She said, so I need you to come to my house. I said, okay. You guys, I walked into her home in Ladera, and there's posters from Denzel, he signed to her, to Jamie Foxx, to John Travolta, to all these people. I was like, who is this woman? She had happened that she had worked on 700 plus movies. And yes, I was like floored. So she sat me down, she gave me all of her materials. She said, I'm gonna teach you everything I know. I go back over to Sony for a follow-up. They're like, well, you can leave our office. I was like, okay, what did I do now? I can't keep coming up in these places getting put out. I said, what's wrong? Please let me know. They said, she taught you more than we know. Take your behind to the airport. You're headed to Atlanta to go work on Stomp the Yard. I was like, yes. So I end up working on this movie from beginning to end, and it's like my very first film to go through the whole way. Coach Carter, I got on at the very tail end. The movie ends up being #1 2 weekends in a row. So now the phone is ringing, and I mean ringing. Everybody's calling. Walt Disney is calling. Universal is calling. Everybody wants the girl, as in me. Just clap, amen, yes. I was like, oh, this is happening. It was just one thing after another after another. You guys, I have worked on Limitless with Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper. I've worked on 007, James Bond. I thought I had made it then. I said, my grandma know what this is. I thought I had made it. What else have I worked on? Takers. Recently, I didn't do this ride-along, but I did the previous ride-along. And the list goes on and on and on. It's probably about 30-something movies. I've never even took the time to count, because from Stomp the Yard was first Sunday, this Christmas, and it has been just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ride. I ended up working in the music industry from Stomp the Yard. I'm Chris Brown's old tour publicist, Lil Wayne's old personal publicist. I'm like, something coming to the screen, that's how y'all look. And it has truly been, like I say, a fabulous and fearless journey. But there are definitely some things I want to take my time, just some principles and some nuggets I wanted to go over. Christine, how am I on time? Okay. Yeah, like I said, I usually take about 45 minutes to go through this story. It's much more detailed. So if you do get a chance, go to Amazon and get the book. And I'm not saying that just for sales. That the story is much more detailed. You get my personal life, my dating life, you get it all in there. It's a lot. But it's so important that through life, and I tell people this all the time, that you stay in the ring. Stay in the ring. My girlfriend Cheryl asked me one day, she said, Arian, how is it that you just always win? I said, because I stay in the ring. I said, I don't care who hits me. I said, I've had people steal clients. I've had folks lie on me. I said, I've had folks do a lot of things to me. I said, but I just stay in the ring. I said, if I get knocked down, I said, I get back up. I said, but the one thing I can't do is check out. I said, because spectators don't get the belt. They don't get the belt. I said, I got to stay in the ring if I want to win. So that's the first thing. Stay in the ring. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about are divine connections. How she was even talking before about being in position. that is so important. You have to be in the flow to receive these blessings. And I would also hear Bishop Jakes a lot of times say it's currency. That's why it's called currency, because it's a flow. But it is so true. And this was such a hard reality to me as a young woman. If you have aspirations on being a multimillionaire or billionaire, you have got to hang around people who already have it. It can't hit you if you're not around it. People can only afford to give you what they have. That's literal. I always tell people your net work equals your net worth. I was charging, when I started my PR company, $2,000 to $5,000 per month per client. This is what I was starting at. I couldn't hang around anybody who was even making low six figures, and that's a good salary. But they cannot afford that actual service. So if I spent my time there, I was never in position to receive the rate. You have to be around it in order to get it. So make sure you definitely, I say positioning is key. Make sure you are definitely around it so you can get it. And another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is energy management. Everything does not deserve your energy. Everything does not deserve your energy. And this thing about it is we can't help the fact that it's only 24 hours in a day. That is what it is. So you can't give every single thing your energy. And the reason why, what you focus on expands. Where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. So you have to be mindful about where you place your energy. Because whatever area you place your energy in, it's going to expand. And whoever you place your energy in is going to expand too. So that's another one. And the very last one I want to talk to you guys about is just making sure you maintain a winning mindset. You can lose your house. You can lose your car. Heck, I lost it all. But the one thing you cannot afford to lose is your mind. Thank you very much.